Hi there, it's Mara again. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the complexity of making decisions, and that's based on mind and heart. Mind just meaning thought and heart just meaning feelings. So most of my life I have followed my feelings as much as possible. And when I followed my feelings in my life, that has led me to wonderful things. So it's led me to the wonderful partner that I have and my wonderful child and the way I've brought up my child, again, based on feelings. And also has led me to the career that I wanted for myself. So feelings can be defined as just a state of being, a state of emotion, but it's also defined as a belief or an idea. And feelings are there for a reason, just like all feelings, just like all emotions, just like everything that we are. And it's very beneficial and it's very helpful, and we should always be listening to our feelings. In fact, it's paramount that we do listen to our feelings and that we follow our feelings. It's extremely important in self-development to follow your feelings and listen to your feelings. If we are numb, then we cannot feel what we need to feel. If we are numb and not feeling the things we need to, then we can't progress, we can't evolve, we can't develop further in ourselves. So we really need to be feeling whatever that might be. That could be sadness. It could be the most depressing time of your life, but you're meant to be feeling that in order to learn. Otherwise, you can't heal. Otherwise, you can't actually truly heal and truly go into the roots and really transform yourself. So it's really important that we feel and we don't escape our feelings like a lot of us do without even realizing most of the time, and that we face our feelings and we see it for what it is, that it's there to help us and follow that through. Okay, so ask yourself this. What feelings have you followed? What has following your feelings led to in your life? Maybe you can make a list of this so you can become more aware of how feelings can be so beneficial. So feelings are again very beneficial and very helpful. However, we need to be connecting thought into the feelings when it comes to making decisions. Remember, this video is really about just making decisions based on what actions we can take rather than reactions to things. So I'm now going to give some examples of just following your feelings, or at least listening to your feelings. And then I'm going to compare those examples to what it would look like if we just implemented thought into that. So the first two examples are as follows. So these are just by listening to our feelings, by following our feelings. Example A. This is unfair. The way my boss is treating me is really unfair. I feel that I need to express how I feel. Example B. My partner is abusing me, but I love my partner. This relationship feels right. Example C. I really feel that my child would love this new class. I think I'm going to join my child into this new class. Okay, now I'm going to give you the same examples, but with thought into that. Example A. So yes, my boss does seem to be treating me pretty unfairly. But if I do express how I feel about this, then there are going to be consequences. And do I want to risk those consequences? Example B. Yes, my partner is abusing me. I do love my partner though, but this isn't right. He shouldn't be abusing me. I shouldn't feel like this when I'm always unhappy. Example C. Yeah, I really do think this class would be perfect for my child, but maybe I should ask my child first and see how they feel about it before I enroll them. Okay, so there were just some comparisons, some very basic comparisons, but just so you get an idea between the feelings and then adding the thoughts into that and what the difference between the two is. So feelings, as you might be able to see from those examples, Without thought lead to reactions, lead to consequences, and consequences to things that maybe you don't want. And that's why putting thought into things is really important, so you're aware of those consequences. So when it comes to those consequences actually coming true in your life, that you can then take responsibility for that, because you know you made that choice knowing that what the consequences could have been, if we do know. And sometimes we don't, but many times we can foresee generally what it might be. So yes, we should be listening to our feelings, but we do need to be putting thought into that. There needs to be a balance, a perfect balance between thought and feelings, between mind and heart, connecting the two together, just like the balance between spirituality and science, a balance between love and reason, logic and heart. Okay, I'm now going to be sharing some tips. Tip number 1, explore your priorities in your life. What are your priorities? You can make a list of all these priorities in a journal. It might be easier for you, but what would you like your life to look like? It's very important that we are aware of our priorities, because many times every day of our lives we just do what we know without thinking what we actually should be or should not be doing. Again, not putting much thought into things. So it's very important to be able to be aware of what our priorities are. Tip number 2, explore your feelings. Ask yourself these questions. How do you feel about certain issues? Where do these feelings come from? What has built up for you that has caused you to feel like this? Now, these are just a few questions, but basically we just want to be exploring our feelings more. Explore your feelings in all different situations, especially the situations that are quite clearly making you feel agitated or annoyed or sad in any way. Think about why you might be feeling like that. Just follow your feelings through. Tip number 3, making actions. Ask yourself these questions. What actions have you made based on these feelings? Example, if you feel disgusted by your child by something that they do, how have you reacted to that disgust? Have you reacted to that disgust? And how has that reaction looked like? And how has your child, or whoever it might be, reacted back to you? How has their reaction been? For example, have they felt maybe judged by how you've reacted? And maybe that's affected your relationship, because again, whatever decisions we make have got consequences. So for every choice that we make, there are consequences. Think about when you throw a pebble or a stone in the river. When you throw that in the river, you can see circles, the vibrations that it makes from that. And those vibrations just get larger and larger, and it creates other vibrations with other circles in the river. But it's just the same in life. You know, everything in life is just mirrored. It's the same everywhere. And whatever choice we make in our life, that has got consequences, whether it's positive or negative, if you'd like to use those words, but it still has got consequences. So that's why it's important that we put thought into our feelings when it comes to making choices in our lives. So tip number 4, thinking about what we just talked about, add thought into those feelings. Change the cycle. So think about making sure that your priorities are in line with what we're going to be talking about now, because it's very important again that it's in line with what you would like, how you see your future, and the most important things in your life. So now that you've analysed your feelings, think about how you can do things differently. So next time when your child does something that disgusts you, how can you react differently? What could you do differently? Implementing thought into that. So maybe talking to your child would be a good idea. Ask your child why they might be doing that. Maybe they picked something up they're not aware of. And also understand that your reactions to that child, that impulsive reaction, because remember, your disgust is more of an impulsive rather than well thought out reaction, might very probably come from your past and your conditioning that maybe you're not aware of. So maybe things that happened in your past, the things that you've picked up in your childhood or wherever, and you're reacting based on those things that you know, that you're putting judgment somewhere, maybe because you felt like you've been judged like that in the past. So just by talking to your child, that could lead you to react differently next time. So again, you're putting thought into this and therefore making better, wiser, smarter decisions for yourself. In summary, the trick is to follow your feelings, to listen to your feelings, but also implement thought into that and follow your thoughts. It's both. For every thought, everything that you might be thinking about, whatever it might be based on, you need to follow that thought through. So if you do this, what would that mean? If you make that decision, what would that mean? But then if you change it around, what would that look like? And then you can make the choice based on, again, those consequences that you know probably, or might do at least, come about. And then you'd be responsible for that, and that would be your choice, would be also then a sense of empowerment, which again is so important in this. So next time we make a choice, think about how we can implement the feeling side of things. So follow your feelings, but also implement thought. So you can make smarter choices and smarter decisions in your life. Until next time, take care.